Could you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, I'm Ruohang Feng, and a PostgreSQL hacker and a maintainer and author of the open source local first distribution for Postgres, which is named Pigsty, free RDS alternative, and author of the project. Also, I maintained several packages for PostgreSQL ecosystem extensions, and also translate some books like DBA and PG internals into Chinese. I used to work in Alibaba, Apple, and Tantan, and PostgreSQL professional.
Could you share with us your past working experience and tell us why would you want to create a Pigsty project?
Well, I started work at Alibaba 10 years ago. From there, I had get in touch with PostgreSQL. It's a fantastic database, and so I switched from MySQL to PostgreSQL and embrace it until now. And the next work, I was working at Tantan, which is a Swedish founding team. We're really old school. They use PostgreSQL everywhere in the traditional old school way, like writing procedures everywhere. I've learned a lot from them and work as a PostgreSQL DBA. So from the both sides, from architect, the developer, and the DBA, finally I decided to make a project, which is Pigsty, aims to solving our own problems. In Tantan, we got a large scale of PostgreSQL clusters. It's 25K cores in the production environment. It's a large clusters, which requires a lot of human intervening and administration works. So I wonder if we could solve this problem with software rather than powers. So that's a beginning and motivation of Pigsty. We want to replace ourselves as a DBA with software written by us. So the project begins and it really works. We got a lot of spare time and we put the spare time to this cycle to maintain, make it better. And finally, we decide to open source it to deliver the best practice of using PostgreSQL to the world. And it becomes quite popular. So that's a rough story of why we made Pigsty, this open source RDS project.
What do you think about the advantages of Pigsty compared with other open source projects? Does it have any unique advantages?
Yes, it holds a unique ecosystem place in the open source landscape. That is open source RDS. For example, in the past, the hackers focusing on the database kernels like Postgres and MySQL, but the cloud vendors utilize these free open source kernels and wrap it as a service. The key technology that they hold is their control system, administration system, which is not open sourced and contribute back to the community because they make a huge profit from it. So Cloud RDS is expensive because there's no open source alternative. That's the reason we made one. We made an open source RDS, which is quite unique. There's no such thing before, at least open source. So this is a unique place we hold. And our product has 6 core value proposals. The first one is extensible Postgres. I think the essence of Postgres lies in its extension ecosystem. PostgreSQL is a kernel, and there's a lot of functionalities I implemented as extensions rather than inside the kernel. So I packed almost half of the extensions in the PG world into Debian and RPM packages, which are binary formats that are out of box, easy to use, and deliver it to all the users. The second one is infra. Pigsty is the abbreviation for Postgres infra, graphics, toolbox, service, and yours. So the second value proposal is infra. We got Intel observability infrastructures. People keep asking, the 2 most demanding thing in PostgreSQL is high availability and monitoring system. Because running a large-scale production environment, the monitoring system is essential to do that. But we look into the entire ecosystem, but we can't find any monitoring system that is good enough for our needs. So we made our own based on the Prometheus and Grafana stack. The third one is like graphics. We made a lot of dashboards, tells people what is happening inside Postgres. I think it may be the best observability solution in Postgres ecosystem now. And we also have high availability based on patroning etcd, which people does not need to care about the database failures. They just switch over themselves. And so DBA can sleep well after they set up. And we have auto-configured backups. You don't need to care about accidentally drop a table, something like that. So the final goal is to, like, if you want a production grade Postgres, you used to like pay thousands of hundreds of dollars to cloud vendors or employ a DBA, but now all you need is one command line and it's ready for use.
The project is named Pigsty. Why did you imagine that name?
The original name was like make abbreviations, Postgres, in graphic styles. The beginning of the project was a monitoring system for PG, so it's graphic styles. And then it becomes a distribution with HA, PITR, sandbox, and all other stuff, so it becomes a great styles. And we have a pro version, which remove the I in the Pigsty. It's PG style. It's like Gangnam style.
Yes, it's a really interesting one. So as an active member in open source community, what do you think about China's open source community, about their situation now?
I think for the PostgreSQL community, the China participation is quite below the average. For example, on the annual hacker meeting on Vancouver last month, July, there are only like 4 or 5 people, Chinese people, attend the meeting, including me and the Hangul. They got 3 people. That's all from China. And the chairman and the committee member says that they want PG community to be more inclusive. They refers to like Japanese and Indians, but not China. But I think Chinese people need to get more active, involved into the community and like make their proposals and have their impacts. So that's what I'm doing, trying to do. I'd like to like make some contribution to the Postgres community, like from the China's perspective.
I see you did a lot of work in contributing in China's open source community. I also want to know that you said on the meeting you think PGVector and Nuvis. So compared with Nuvis, do you think PGVector have any unique points that make it more competitive?
Yeah, I think when you're comparing these two databases, you are not comparing one database to an extension. You're comparing to the entire PostgreSQL ecosystem. And if you compare in that way, you will find it does not match at all. For example, high availability, PITR, backup, recovery, service access, and monitoring observability, those functionality requires millions of lines of code to achieve. Could you like counting on one company to do such a work that aims to compare with Postgres? I think that is ridiculous. So as for the advantage, for example, you can use one database for all the data demands. You don't need a dedicated component to maintain. So you don't need to learn a new database. You just learn a SQL grammar with new function, new index. That is very easy to get started and easy to use. That's the point. The second point is data consistency. Like if you use a dedicated database, you have to write glue code to move data from one to another, and you have to guarantee ACID by yourself, which is like quite tricky. And the reliability, the data integration, replication, you got a lot of problems to solve to make Mills work like PostgreSQL plus PGVector.
Could you summarize the advantages of PGVector into 3 words?
The first point is simple. The second I would phrase like powerful. And the third one I would like to synergistic effect with other extensions.
Do you have anything you want to share with other members, other attendants to this GLGC 2024 after listening to other people talking about their opinion about open source?
Yeah. I do have an opinion. It's like I see a lot of homegrown databases. I think it's not appropriate time for like making a new database kernel or something like that, because PostgreSQL is already become the Linux of the database world. And since that is a trend, you better embrace it rather than against it. So I would say embrace PostgreSQL.
I see. Do you think China's tiny, small companies and other like Ali and other, they are big names in this big data area. They also make their own products about database. What do you think about these products?
I think it depends on what kind of database product they made. For example, if they were like saying wrapper of Postgres and MySQL, then it works. If they try to design their own database kernels, and it definitely dooms. And as for now, the most powerful product is like RDS PG and PolarDB PG, which is like mainly based on the PG mainstream, which I think it looks good. But the problem is, what's their unique value proposal comparing to the open source one? For example, you've got 333 extensions in the ecosystem, but you only got like 50 or 40 extensions available on their RDS, and you cannot install extensions by your own. So this gap, how could they fill it? That's a problem. The second problem is like their service. They provide like something like I could do the operational task for you. You don't need hiring a DBA staff, blah blah. But I think now since there's open source one RDS, the value of RDS service become diminished by the open source world alternatives.
Okay. Finally, so tell me more about Pigsty. If you want to promote it in like overseas market, what would you recommend other overseas users? They may have the limited knowledge about this Pigsty project. So what do you like to persuade them to buy this product and use it?
Yeah, I think never underestimate good marketing's impact on database product. Even you made a very, very good product with good technologies, you have to make people get familiar with it. It takes a lot of work to do. That's the reason why I wrote my own columns. I wrote articles and like got like 30 or 40 fans, followers on Twitter, on WeChat columns, and I got like two columns, like database expert and the cloud exit and solo. So these two columns all have some articles talk about the database world and the cloud exit, and it's quite popular. Several months ago, I wrote an article like Postgres is eating the database world, and it became tremendous popular, and almost everyone in the Postgres community see this post. So I got a lot of attention on this product. So we got like 1,000 star GitHub star from this post.
It's a great job.
Yeah, thank you. So I think I need to do more to promote in the global world, like in Hacker News, Product Hunt, and translate some Chinese articles to the exterior world. Make more sound.